I'm Paul Steele. I'm Managing Director of Junction Arts. It was about one aim really, which was to give people opportunities. It was about the kind of central idea that art is for everyone. And at the time there was divisions within the arts world, and there was this idea that actually art was just for the upper classes or for the wealthy. And the community arts movement started out of an anger really that they didn't want that to be the case. It was the idea that art is for everyone, and everyone should have the opportunity and the right to express themselves through the arts. And Junction Arts were one of the original rural community arts organisations that were set up during that time. So we do a range of things. We do a range of projects and workshops every year. We do 2 annual outdoor arts festivals every year. The key thing that underpins all of our work is the idea of participation and co-creation. So the artists that we work with, we ask them to be generous with their practice. It's not about them creating work for people, it's about them creating work with people, and that's really important. Is the way that the arts can give people a voice, and the way the arts and creativity can enable people to express themselves. In the areas that we deliver in, they're some of the poorest areas in Derbyshire, and so we try and engage those communities and get them to express themselves through the arts. I mean, that's kind of what we do. But what we try to do initially is to start a conversation. It's as simple as that really. Sometimes we use local buildings that we work with to invite people there to start a conversation about the heritage of the place, and then we build in a relationship from that, and we build in some kind of arts delivery from that. So we approach projects quite differently. We don't start with an art form, we start with an issue. And we start with a relationship, and then we build in the art form later. And that's how we work, which is slightly different. Some sectors or some parts of the arts world are quite cliquey, I suppose, if I'm being honest. And certainly starting out, there was, I felt that there was a barrier in terms of trying to break into that sector, really. Especially because I wasn't coming into the sector as an artist or as a creative. I would say just take any opportunity that you can to talk about your practice or talk about your work and your skills. And if you're given that opportunity or that platform to take it, because I think looking back, certainly earlier on, I was perhaps a bit fearful of that, and I think perhaps when you're just starting out, that can be a real issue, especially within the creative sector and the arts sector. So if you've got the opportunity to talk about yourself, then I would say do it, yeah. One of the things that I'll talk about is our approach to participatory arts and community arts, and our approach to placemaking as well. And the methodology that we use, which is based on, looking at the issue first and then building an art form around that. I'll be sort of presenting that and presenting the things that we've learned over 4 decades in terms of working with communities and working with artists and developing successful community arts projects. The phrase that we use a lot is dig where you stand. And it's based on this Swedish philosophy that everything that you need is beneath your feet. And it's based on the idea that if you can kind of dig into your local heritage or your place, it helps you to understand your own place and your own sort of individuality. If we're going into a community to work with people, we don't then look at what we can bring in. We always look at the starting point of what's there, what's in that community, whether it's local heritage or whether there are stories locally that we can look at, and then we build up from there, because that's a really good way to engage people in this type of work as well.